good evening, everyone.
Well, that was very formal.
Yeah.
Hi, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to Keep It Clean with Crystal.
And Christina.
It's nice to see you all.
Happy Wednesday.
Yes, it's been a Wednesday.
Yes.
For real.
Yes.
So, let's jump right into it.
Okay.
Where do we start?
You may have noticed, if you follow us on social,
Yes.
we were out of town this weekend.
True.
We were in a lovely seaside town called Charleston, South Carolina.
Yes. Not to be confused with Charleston, West Virginia.
Different places.
It's different.
Different.
It's different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We were there for a very exciting reason.
Exciting!
We were at Rise Business, the inaugural, the first ever. We were there, along with over 6,000 of our now closest friends.
Yes.
Like Charlie.
Nearest and dearest, Charlie.
And Adam.
Oh, yes.
Right?
Yep. And chiropractor Amy.
Oh, Chiro Amy from Fargo was in Charleston.
Yep, she was. It was
Yeah.
so much fun, you guys. So if you don't know what Rise Business is, it is a business conference put on by the Hollis Company. You may have heard us talk about them before.
Okay, wait.
I'm ready.
Do y'all watch Jeopardy?
Sometimes. I mean, I know what it is.
Rachel Hollis was an answer on Jeopardy today.
Seriously?
Seriously.
That's funny. My team at work, for those of you in the Twin Cities, my team at work went to a place in Plymouth on Monday night for like a team thing called the Game Show Battle Room.
Oh, I've heard of that.
So fun. They broke us into two teams and we played all these game shows, and the first one we played was not Jeopardy. I just realized it was not.
Something else. It was like Family Feud.
It was Family Feud.
Don't make her cough.
Oh my gosh. As I was saying, I was like, crap, that's not the same thing. No. Anyway.
No. So
That's
Rachel
awesome.
Hollis,
Yes.
Jeopardy answer today. We were in Charleston with the Hollis Company at Rise Business.
Yes.
With our MC Dave and our main speaker Rachel.
Yeah. It was so awesome, you guys. So like Christina said, this was the first time they do conferences. They've done a couples conference, which my husband and I went to about a little over a year ago. And they've done multiple women's personal development conferences. I went to the one that was in Minnesota earlier this year. It was in June. This was our first business conference. And the lineup that they had of speakers throughout the 3 days, they say this all the time, and I say it now too because it's so true. Like, you cannot pay to have all these speakers at one place. You would literally have to go to like 10 different conferences because these people they host their own conferences, like that kind of stuff.
And we had them all.
So amazing. Are you going to tell them who they are?
Yes.
Because you guys need to like start following these people. They are amazing.
Yes. Okay.
Should we give like one takeaway from each of them or something?
That's a good idea.
Okay, let's do
That's
that.
a good idea. Okay.
Ready?
First up, after Rachel and Dave, because they each did their own little talks, but
Yes.
after them, we had Brendon Burchard.
Yes.
Do you know him? You should.
So Brendon is like, I can't even describe him. I don't want to take the time to read his bio. He's huge. He has like personal development coach to like Oprah. Yeah. And all the famous people.
He
like the
personal
presidents
development coaches Oprah.
Yes, he does.
And both Republican and Democratic presidents.
Yeah. And the Dalai Lama.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And
He has like
he
pictures
spoke-
with all these people. And
He
like,
spoke to
works-
us.
Yeah. He like works with them one-on-one. So I would say, I believe like his most recent book, or maybe his biggest one at this point, is called High Performance Habits. He's awesome. He's got a podcast. You can listen to the entire book for free on his podcast, which is really cool. And his biggest message, you guys, he has an insane story about like multiple like flirts with death, honestly. And
Seriously,
like,
how is he alive?
Super serious like sickness and stuff like that. And so he tells a very poignant story of literally the first time when he was 19 that he legit almost died. And like this whole story of how
he almost committed suicide.
Yes.
Then how he almost died
Yes.
in a car accident.
Yes. And he talks about like the whole concept or thought of literally if today was your last day on earth, three questions he asks himself every day, which your questions might be different, but I love these. His 3 questions are, if today was your last day, if this was it, did you live fully? Did you love fully? And did you matter?
Ugh. And then we all cried.
Right here. Right here.
Seriously.
So, love him. You need to follow him on social. Like, he is awesome. Brendon Burchard.
Then we also heard from Amy Porterfield.
Yes.
And Amy Porterfield, so while Brendon was a lot more in the personal development space, Amy was very tactile. Like, if you want to grow a business, these are the things you have to do. Go do this. Are you doing it yet? And so that was amazing, right? Because sometimes when you go to these conferences, it is a lot of personal development.
Woo!
Because there is a lot of head trash and mind games and Pam that you got to get out of your head.
Cheryl, whoever your person is in your head.
Whoever that voice is in your head. There's a bunch of stuff you got to get through sometimes because building a business is a lot about selling yourself, right? And so the personal development part of it is critical. The tactile piece of it is critical as well. And the amazing thing about this conference is we got both.
Yes, definitely. Whereas anyone who's been to any type of conference before, I think we've all probably experienced the high of the conference and then you leave and you have no idea what to do. You're super excited.
You're super motivated.
But you don't know what to do.
Okay, no.
So this conference had a lot of like literally this is what you need to do.
Go do this.
So Amy talked a lot about email marketing. And all the stuff around that. And super informative.
And really grabbing hold of modern marketing, right?
Yeah.
Like if you want to have a business in today's world, you have to understand today's marketing. And go do those things. It was great. Then we heard from another person. This is out of order because I'm just looking at the book in the bios section. We also heard from Trent Shelton.
Trent is a former NFL wide receiver. I think he's like one of like the most followed people on social. He has over 60 million people that watch his videos every week.
Weekly. 60 million weekly. Not like he said 60 million views total. No, every week 60 million people tune in to watch him.
Yep. He is awesome. So he talked about mindset and intention, just all the things around commitment and discipline and consistency and faith. So many good nuggets here and heart. Trying to see if I could pull out like one nugget from Trent. I've heard him speak before and oh my gosh, he's just awesome.
Get great at saying no to things that don't get you your yes.
Yeah.
I mean, for that one, that's a good one about just don't be a people pleaser. You have to prioritize things.
Yeah.
So it was good.
He's awesome. Yeah, like so many things I have written down, like I can't pull one out. But Trent Shelton, so look him up. He's so cool.
All right, next up.
Yeah.
Chris Hogan.
Okay, I was not familiar with Chris Hogan before this conference.
Now I'm his biggest fan.
Yeah, I've heard Rachel Hollis mention him like he's going to be speaking at the conference. He is part of the Dave Ramsey organization, so hopefully you guys have heard of Dave Ramsey. And he spoke about leadership, and this was one of the last speakers that we heard.
Yes,
but seriously, one of my favorites. I took so many things away from this about the lies that we believe about leadership, right? That it's associated with a title or a rank, that it's only for select people.
Right.
And he spent most of his time talking about servant leadership. Like, what does it mean to be a servant leader? How do you do that? You know, just a servant leader like listens,
right?
You know, and asks questions.
They increase trust. They build loyalty. They create unity.
Yeah.
You know, just talking about how as a servant leader you have the opportunity to make an impact. Mm-hmm. So he was amazing. And fun fact, he's not the guy in the Allstate commercials. Inside joke, he would be there.
You guys, find him on social and find something where he is speaking. He has legit, like, the deepest voice ever.
Like one of those that you could just listen to for hours.
So crazy.
Hours.
And right away he's like, all right, let's get the voice jokes out of the way. My voice changed when I was 12. When I was trick-or-treating, people told me to, like, go somewhere else, you adult person. Mm-hmm. And he was like, I'm a child. Give me the candy. Oh, it was very funny. Just awesome. Loved him.
All right. Mally Roncal.
Yes.
For those of you that are in the beauty space, you might have heard of her. She has Mally Beauty. That's her company that she's built. She is the makeup artist to Beyonce.
Yes.
The makeup artist to Beyonce.
Yes. She tells a very funny story of how that came to be. When she was like super young, had like literally almost no experience. Like
she's self-trained in makeup.
Yep. And then after doing that for a while, she developed her own beauty brand, which I think is one of like, it's been on QVC for 15 years.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of unheard of. She is hysterical, and she talked about failure.
Yeah.
And just the fact that like, you can't succeed without failure.
Yep.
You know, it doesn't define you. It's you just have to move through it and move past it and learn from it.
Yeah.
Right?
Big failures tend to have enormous impact on our stories, but don't forget that the little mistakes have huge value as well. And trust your whisper.
Yes. Loved her. She's adorable.
Ed Mylett.
Another deep speaker.
With enormous biceps.
He's large.
I was not
in
complaining.
A muscular fashion.
And then he took off his jacket and he was like, ladies.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Listening.
So, yeah. Ed Mylett is awesome. Definitely another great listen as far as podcasts. A lot of these people do have podcasts. Amy Porterfield does. Ed Mylett is awesome. What are some takeaways from Ed? So many good things. Again, he talked about his journey. All of them shared kind of their story, and then the parts of their story and their journey that, you know, that taught them something or whatnot. Ed.
Okay, here's one that I took away from him, and I highlighted it.
I love when she got her highlighter. She would highlight something, and I'd be like, oh, yes.
Oh, yeah, I better write that down.
Yeah,
star.
She was
highlighting it.
Make a star.
Yeah, where are my flashing symbols? Okay. He wants you to know that you anchor your goals by moving your body. So literally, like if you have goals, literally like walk around your house saying them out loud, or you know, like literally, because that's one of the things that Rachel had us doing all the time. Because if you move your body, you
change your mind.
Change your mind, right?
It's science.
It's science. We always like, you know. I also loved her analogy, or whoever it is, about the power plant, right? The power plant doesn't have energy, it generates energy.
It makes energy.
So we need to be the power plants. We need to move our bodies. We need to generate the energy, and you anchor your goals by moving your body.
Yeah.
So
good. He also talked about, he said, your mess does not disqualify you from winning and being happy. The Lord will repurpose your mess and make it magnificent. So create the mess. The greatest things in our lives show up as something different than you thought it would be.
True story.
So much more there. That's like a teensy bit of it. It was so great.
It was so good.
So good.
Then we had Dean Graziosi, who is a best-selling author. He's got 13 different companies. He has over $1 billion in revenue. So he talked to us about sales, right?
Yes.
Like just, if you have a business, you're in sales.
Yes.
Whatever it is, get used to it. And he's one of the ones that talked about how the biggest sales job we have to do is selling ourselves. Like, we have to love what we do so much that if we don't get you to engage with us, we're doing you a disservice.
Yeah, I loved this. What he said about this was he said, you need to think about it a little bit differently. And I think we definitely do have this perspective, but it's about like keeping it front of mind. It's that you have an ethical obligation to share. Like, you need, like, if you love what you do so much that you can't help but sharing it with people. And I totally feel that way about what we do and our products, because we have experience firsthand for both ourselves and like our
family,
immediate
our
friends
ones,
and family. Life-changing, like life, I was going to say enhancing, elongating.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
Like longer living things.
Yes.
It's crazy.
The other thing he said was the world right now wants the most authentic version of you and your business.
Yeah.
So a lot of times people think about sales and they get kind of like slimy, whatever. Yeah. But think about if you went to a great restaurant and you were telling somebody about this great restaurant. It had great service, it had great food, it had great ambiance, it had great whatever. Yeah. When you're talking about that, the energy that is coming out of you talking about this restaurant, people believe you because of your energy and your excitement. He's like, you if you're passionate about your business, you have to treat it the same way. Yeah. And that struck me because I actually have a coworker who knows about my side hustle, and he comes to talk to me about it all the time. And he will look at me sometimes, and he's like, "You really love this, don't you?" Like, because I just did, and pretty soon I'm just like telling him all the things, and I get super excited, and I'm talking louder and with my hands, and he's like, "Got it." Yeah.
So here's what I wrote down specifically that Dean said about this, and I just love the way that he said this. He said, you, just being anyone, like, you attach a negative connotation to selling in your business, but not when you're telling someone about something that will help their life. Right? Like, why is that? It's not any different, and that's how, like...
Right.
We know that, but even, we're like, oh, yeah, it's sorry.
And then you shrink, right? Like, your whole body shrinks.
Like you curl in on yourself, and, like, that's just...
Don't do that.
It's just dumb. Don't do that.
Next up was Tom Bilyeu.
Oh, yes. Tom Bilyeu is the co-founder of Quest Nutrition.
Do you guys eat Quest Nutrition, like the protein
Quest bars and stuff like that? So he co-founded it with his wife. And they took Quest Nutrition from zero to like over $1 billion in, I think it was like 5 years or something like that. Like insane. In a market that was already pretty saturated with products. Right? So super, super interesting.
Time bars, power bars, there's a ton of them, right? You go to that whole section of the grocery store and it's like floor to ceiling, 8 feet long, all the nutrition bars. And yet he was able to start a company in 2014, 5 years ago, and go from $0 to $1 billion.
With a B. Like boy.
And now he hosts a podcast where it's not just voice though. It's like a YouTube show or whatever.
Like video,
called Impact Theory, and he's got some really great.
Like he's like interviewed like so many
all the
awesome
people.
Yeah, super interesting. So he talked about failure in your business also, and just again like struggle is guaranteed, success is not. Like you have to work for it, and things are gonna happen. And you just kind of need to keep going.
Passion generates energy.
Yes.
I highlighted it, and then I just said it a minute ago.
Just like that.
That's how it goes. Okay, and then the last speaker in the lineup was Marie Forleo.
Yeah, so Marie has a new book out. It's not her first, but her new book that just launched, I think she said she just finished her book tour, is called Everything is Figure-Outable.
I've already used that at home on my children.
Figure it out. Everything is figure-outable.
James was like, he literally said one of the examples that Marie did on stage was like, well, yeah, well then why can't humans fly? You know,
Yeah.
James, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I was like, they do. They do with jetpacks, they do with parachutes, they do in planes, they do, like, we have figured out how to make humans fly.
There you go. So I'm going to tell you her 3 rules, and just sit on these later and think about it.
Okay.
So here's the 3 rules. All problems or dreams are figure-outable. That's rule number 1.
Okay.
Number 2, if it isn't, it's not a problem. It's a fact of life.
Okay.
Hence, humans can't fly.
Right.
It's a fact of life.
Fact of
It's
life.
not a problem.
It's not a problem.
Okay. Number 3, you may not care enough to solve a particular problem or go after a dream, and that's okay. Find something you do care about and go back to number 1. All problems or dreams are figure-outable.
Got it? Okay, go.
Okay. And go do the thing. You're welcome.
Yes.
Yeah, she was
And she's
awesome.
a Jersey girl and has a bit of a potty mouth, and she was really fun to listen to.
Yeah, she was very funny. I think every single one of these people has at least one book, if not many.
They all have one book
and lots of podcasts.
And most of them said, oh, and you got to go read this book, right?
Yes.
Like, if the guy with the 60 million viewers is telling me to go read this book, or the guy with $1 billion company is telling me to go read that book,
Yeah.
I'm probably going to go read it. So
Yeah.
my Audible, Amazon book wish list went...
Yeah. Yeah, because not only do I have to read all of these people's books that I haven't, some of them I have already, but like she said, at least every single speaker, I have at least one spot on their page where I put a little empty box and the name of the book that I need to read.
I highlighted mine. I've already been on Amazon and added them all to my wish list.
There you go. So what about the surprise not on the agenda speaker?
Oh, yeah, Scott Miller.
Sorry.
Y'all know
Scott Miller. He recently wrote, oh my gosh. So we don't have his actual bio because he wasn't in the program originally.
It was like, surprise, here's another speaker.
Yeah, he has a recent book that's called Management Mess to Leadership Success. And he, like, a month ago came and spoke to the staff at the Hollis Company, and they loved him so much that they asked him to come speak.
He's a big dog at Franklin Covey.
He's the CMO.
He's a
marketing.
big dog. Yeah.
But when they listed out his, like, bio kind of credentials, insane. Not only CMO, aka kind of a big deal, busy guy.
But that's kind of a full-time job.
Yeah. But all the other stuff they listed out, I was like, that is
But he
enough.
does in addition to that.
Like right now, it's like, that is enough for like 10 people.
Yeah.
He's crazy awesome.
Yeah.
And he talked about management mess, leadership. He gave us this little deck of cards, which I haven't looked through all of them yet, but it has 30 challenges on it. So each one is a kind of a topic or around leadership, and then challenges to do to like get better at that thing or whatever.
Right.
So we have those little cards. So things like listen first.
Oh
and
my
then
gosh.
he talked all about that.
Listening.
That's hard.
I just did it. I just interrupted her.
He talked about interrupting.
Yes.
It's not.
Move off your agenda and stop interrupting. You know, when you're having a conversation with somebody, a difficult conversation or whatever it is, just stop talking. Stop thinking about what you're going to say next and listen to them.
Yep.
What?
I know. Yeah, he said, you just said it. It takes immense effort to move off of your own agenda and your own timeline. And he said that, and I was like, damn, it's good.
Dang it. Gotta do that. I also liked one thing that he said, vulnerability is a new leadership competency.
That was pretty good. You must be relatable. Think about it. Yeah, so he was awesome.
It was so good.
Definitely want to go read his book and see what else he has out there. He gave a book recommendation too, and yeah.
So if
You
you're
guys.
still with us,
Yes.
we passion, energy. We just
summarized 3 days into, I don't know, 20 minutes or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay. So if you're still with us.
Yes.
What
or watching later. Thanks for watching the replay.
Yeah. What we want you to know is that while we have been in business for 3.5 years, we have not always treated it like a business. We have, when times got busy, when stuff came up, our day jobs still got done, but our Arbonne jobs didn't. And this lit a fire in us. Like I can't even describe. It not only gave us the literal tools, go do this, but also the mindset of what we have to do in order to achieve what we want. So you might see some changes coming up in how we run our businesses and how we engage with you and how we try and help you, because you are the lifeblood of our businesses, right? So it's going to be, don't cry, honey, it's okay. It's okay.
We're very excited. Like Christina said, we learned so much. We had time for like introspection and reflection, and like I will be the first to admit that I have shame around the fact that I have been in my business for almost 4 years and I'm not even close to where I want to be.
Yes.
And I have shame about that. If someone says, "Oh, how long have you been doing this?" and I say 3 years.
Yeah.
It makes me feel horrible.
But that's because we're comparing ourselves to those who have like gotten to the top of the business in like a day and a half.
Yeah.
Right? And comparison is the thief of joy, right? So we're not going to do that anymore. Yeah. We are going to build our businesses by helping our customers, and that's it. We're not going to worry about anything else. So there you go.
Yeah.
All right.
So that's what we had to share tonight. Obviously, we talked for a long time. So thanks to those of you who actually watched all of this or will watch it later.
Yeah.
We appreciate it. We just cannot thank you guys enough for the support and the love that we do feel from you guys, because I do feel that. Like, there were actually many times throughout the conference where they would ask questions like, about like people in your life that don't support you and like this, that, and the other thing and all these negative things. And I've never felt that, like, and keep in mind that it's not supporting someone just by buying something, right? But just you guys watching this, or when we see you, just asking, how are things going? Or, like just all of that kind of stuff. So, sorry, just kind of went off on a little tangent there, but like, thank you guys. Like, it has been a journey for us, and it's going to be more of a journey, or maybe a little bit different journey going forward. But it means a lot to us that you guys support us and cheer us on from the side. Yeah. So.
All right.
Okay.
Have a great Wednesday. Have a great rest of your week.
Stay warm.
Yeah.
Try
All
to.
right.
Okay.
Good night.
Bye.